Hey, yo, say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall, and I've got a scoop for you. And we all know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and I encourage you to check out this one. It's called Going In Raw. You heard it here first. Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief.
News brief.
Let's try to keep this one brief today. Before we get started with the news, though, Larson, I want to give a quick shout out to Chase Bowder, Los Moons, Hopeless Goblin, and Brick Flair for your support on Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
What's in the news?
What's in the news? There's a lot in the news. Apparently, all of WrestleMania 36 is in complete disarray.
What a mess.
Chaos reigns.
Wow.
They might have to cancel the show because they don't know what they're going to do with it.
That'd be rad for a rebrand on Roman. Chaos reigns.
Chaos reigns. That'd be great. Little talking fox with them.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So according to the Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer, the card for Mania 36 is like completely up in the air. At least the SmackDown side of things. Mm-hmm. Actually, it just sounds like the SmackDown side of things is completely up in the air. So it was reported that John Cena was going to take on Elias at Mania. And, of course, rumors and speculation seem to indicate that Roman Reigns and the Fiend Bray Wyatt were on a collision course for a Universal title match at Mania. Well, according to Dave, both those matches are off.
Yes!
They're off.
Yes! I'm actually really happy about that. Continue, though.
Meltzer stated, quote, that every match on the SmackDown side of things is either going to change or in danger of changing. I don't think there's one that's solid anymore as far as the Mania thing goes. He also mentioned that everything seems to be up in the air, and the two marquee matches are off, as mentioned before, and he also stated that up to 5 matches slated to be on the card, I think just from the SmackDown side of things, have been changed, including, he thought, Naomi versus Bayley, which is happening at Super Showdown.
Yeah, that was
Crown Royal.
At
Mania,
Crown Royal, yeah,
at Mania
exactly.
initially, but yeah. He speculates about possibly Lacey Evans getting the Mania match against Bayley then, and then of course Goldberg and Fiend have this match at Crown Royal. Mm-hmm. If Fiend versus Roman is off, mm-hmm. And then that I guess increases potentially speculation that Goldberg could beat Fiend to set up either a match against Roman Reigns, probably a match against Roman Reigns at Mania for the Universal title, or you could have Fiend beat Goldberg, and then Cena shows up and says, essentially, Fiend, you've run through everybody else here. Now I got to come here and try to beat you.
Well,
which seems like a very Cena thing to do, and you can still have Goldberg versus Reigns. There's no title involved.
You can even do an impromptu Cena thing at Mania involving the Fiend. The Fiend is built on. I mean, look, I know they book matches in advance and advertise them, but part of the thing about the Fiend is that he pops up kind of out of nowhere. What you could do with Cena at Mania, as opposed to your traditional build, is have him show up, have him do a thing with Elias, which is what we were all kind of expecting, and there's some long-term stuff there.
Yeah.
The Fiend pops up impromptu, and, okay, when the Fiend got Kane on his wall, was that as a result of an actual match, or did he just take out Kane, basically?
He just took him out.
So Fiend can show up, take out John Cena, and be able to add John Cena to his wall. You don't have an actual match, but you have the presence of the Fiend.
You got at Mania? You got to have that Universal title defended at WrestleMania.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. He shows up and Cena challenges him to a match. You get your match right there, and it's impromptu. Now, I mean, you'd probably want to advertise John Cena being there in the first place, but it's a buzzworthy thing.
But I think there's also a lot of story you can mine in advance of that match, too.
I just don't know. I think my thing is, realistically, I'm not sure how much Cena can be around in the build to WrestleMania.
Well,
I just don't know.
I mean, they did a whole program between Bray and The Undertaker where The Undertaker showed up once.
I know, it was all props. It was like from the Undertaker Museum.
I know.
Yeah,
There was
true.
a few really good promos from Bray's end in the course of that. But yeah, at some point, Taker.
I mean, they've done it with Goldberg. He's shown up once, and he's been on TV, from his garage, from his Ty Lopez garage. So there's any number of ways to do it. I think that's much better because then you can have a build either to SummerSlam or to Mania where you can have. Look, man, they had Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin for 6 months. They have to give the same respect to the Universal title, building Roman to the Fiend for at least that amount of time.
I wonder if it's a situation where they were going to do Roman, Bray, and then they're like, it's too early to have Bray lose. Let's push on that, come back around to it, as you mentioned, either SummerSlam or next year's Mania, and do it then. That'd be my hope, because I think Bray's doing still interesting work. If you want to have Roman to be the guy who beats the Fiend, it's better to push it, because Bray's gonna have like a 6-month title reign. Not long enough.
You need a lot of time.
It's not long enough.
You need a lot of time to build up the guy who's going to beat the Fiend the way the Fiend has been booked thus far. You need a lot of time. Give Roman Goldberg at Mania.
Yeah.
I mean, Meltzer mentioned that Goldberg wasn't in the plans for Mania, but that can change. Who knows? I mean, he's probably in contact with Vince on a regular basis. Spear versus Spear, I think, would be fantastic.
Yeah, it sells itself.
It really does.
It really does. And other news from the WWE, PW Insiders reporting that Jeff Hardy might be nearing a return, because they're reporting that Hardy was backstage at last week's SmackDown, is apparently scheduled to be at the show, not on the show, at the show this upcoming Friday. Mike Johnson, he's from PW Insider, notes that it seems like Hardy will be on SmackDown once he returns, but it hasn't been confirmed. Of course, the Hardy Boys were on SmackDown before he got hurt. Jeff, that is. They had dropped the tag titles on TV, and then Matt showed up on Raw post-draft. Of course, Jeff hasn't been cleared to compete yet, so if he stays on SmackDown where he was before, all the injuries and other legal things have happened to him. So we'll see.
Matt-based wrestling for Jeff Hardy.
Could be.
Just write out that contract so he can go back with his brother and do some cool stuff in AEW.
Yeah.
Matt-based wrestling. He's like, hey, Jeff, I want you to do one of those cool ladder spots. Okay, third rung.
Yeah.
That's how far up I'll go.
Figure 4 through the ladder, you got it.
Exactly. Figure 4 through the ladder.
You got it.
You got it.
You got it.
You know what franchise, you know what promotion they probably won't be going to, though? NXT Japan, because that's still under the WWE's umbrella, but apparently it's going to be happening soon.
Yes, this is from Wrestling Observer newsletter. Steve, you want to read these words?
Absolutely. From, like you said, from the newsletter, expect the announcement of a Japan Performance Center in the next few months, maybe around summertime. I love that song.
It's a good song.
If everything goes as expected, they already reached out to Senator?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, Hiroshi Hase and Antonio Inoki about the political situation. The original thought was working with Pro Wrestling Noah, but Noah was sold to Cyber Agent.
Wow.
Some sort of cybernetic superhero.
Seems like
evidently now owns Pro Wrestling Noah. Of course, we had heard at the time that
they'd made overtures to try to buy the promotion.
They tried to buy Noah, and then apparently it's kind of taboo to sell out a business to an American entity in Japan. So then said they were sold to Cyber Agent.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what Cyber Agent's all about.
That's cool. It'll be interesting to see. So they're not going to be able to go into Japan and do the same thing they did in the UK.
Not even close.
In other words, they're not going to be able to go in and destroy the Japanese wrestling market.
No.
So they're going to be going there like, hey, New Japan, do you want one of those deals where we can fold you at any time?
And then they'll be like, no.
No, we're good. We're straight. We're good. So I don't know, but whatever. That's cool. I mean, it's another place for people to get paid. It'll be interesting to see how successful it is. Maybe the other, the powers that be in Japan, they might not take too kindly to WWE coming in. They might do what they can
to drive them out,
to stifle that, and exactly to drive them out. So that's going to be some interesting.
There's going to be some intrigue going on there.
Absolutely,
if this ever comes to fruition.
Yeah, I can't wait. They need to get down to get an NXT Mexico, because those promotions could be pretty vicious to each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, putting holes in Triple H's car and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Talking about putting holes in things, there's going to be a huge hole going on this weekend, or Double or Nothing weekend in Vegas, and that means no StarCast.
I guess that means there's not going to be a big hole in my wallet.
Nope. No. So StarCast has made it very, very, very clear there won't be any sort of official StarCast going on Double or Nothing weekend in Las Vegas or Memorial Day weekend. Fightful Select, go subscribe to Fightful Select.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Fantastic. Does have some news on what kind of events AEW may have planned between Double or Nothing and then the episode of Dynamite. They're shooting the following Wednesday because they promised, hey, we're going to be in town for that stretch. We're going to put on some events. This is what Fightful has to say. Quote, Fightful has learned that as of now, a non-StarCast series of events being coordinated and planned for Double or Nothing week in Las Vegas. As far as we've heard so far, the idea is to run panels, meet and greets, merchandise, and the like. The StarCast side of things confirmed to us they are not involved, and our inquiries to AEW went unanswered. So it seems like basically everything involving StarCast probably in a smaller form.
They're doing their own access.
Sans the convention aspect of it. There
Yeah.
will be the convention floor with tables, which we used to do.
Yeah.
So they'll probably have meet and greets, a panel or two, and then merch table at one of the hotels.
Man, they might reach out and say, hey, any podcasts out there? What if they email us and say, hey, Stephen Larson, you want to come out and do a live podcast?
Sure.
From the floor of, I don't know, what do you want to
Maybe
call
they'll do it at the MGM Grand because that's where the show's at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that'd be fun. So, that's a bummer. I really enjoyed StarCast.
Oh, that was an absolute blast.
We had a really good time there. It's
did.
always great to meet friendos. We
Absolutely.
had Friendo Fest there. That was a blast. Anyways.
You want to do a Raw preview before we...
Oh, yeah, let's do a quick Raw preview. We'll do that.
First item, sorry, not next. First, who will Randy Orton target next? Of course, he's destroyed Edge. He's destroyed Matt Hardy. Who could be next?
So this is all based around Edge. Yeah, Christian might show up. I could see that happening.
That'd be great.
Anybody else?
What if Beth Phoenix showed up?
A bad move on her part.
Oh, it'd be cool if she...
Don't do that, Beth. She's not going to be on NXT this week.
She took it to Randy Orton.
That'd be rad.
That'd be awesome.
He produces a gun or something. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar to appear live.
Of course, this is the go home for Crown Royal
on Raw. So yeah, and I wonder how much interaction is he going to have. But his actual opponent at Crown Royal, Ricochet.
Yeah,
which I keep on forgetting that's actually happening.
That's a match, man.
And in the Mania match, Drew McIntyre.
Well, here I can go by this preview here they have here. So they have the headline, a blurb here, and on the right they have a video of Ricochet doing an interview, and right below that there's a video of Drew challenging Lesnar to a match at Mania.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe we'll do a situation where Brock comes out, destroys Ricochet, Drew comes out, runs him off essentially.
Yeah, that could be.
Because they need to keep Drew involved in all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, there's one more item.
And then there's one more item here. Will Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler come to blows in the same building? They're going to be in the same building this time, man.
Whoa.
Pretty sure they were last week also, but kayfabe, they were not.
Mm-mm.
She was via satellite from an undisclosed location. It says, given what Shayna did to Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch a couple weeks ago, putting these two in the same building before it's absolutely necessary is certainly a bold move, Cotton, but it appeared Raw is indeed going to walk along the razor's edge. Oh, you heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
As the Raw Women's Champion and her potential WrestleMania challenger are slated to be in the same building on Monday night. What purpose Shayna has on Raw this week is somewhat vague. She's slated to compete in the Elimination Chamber match in a few weeks.
Boy, that's a long preview.
Yeah, it's a really long preview. I'll just get to the end here. The house might not be left standing by this time Tuesday rolls around. I read that sentence wrong, but who cares?
I mean, we get the idea.
Yeah. So
they're saying the two of them are leveled the arena to its very foundation.
I guess so. Like the Hulk versus the Thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Superman versus Doomsday.
Yeah. On the audio side of things today, wherever podcasts can be found, we're going to answer some questions that we solicited on the Twitter.
Correct.
Check that out. Over on my Friendoville channel, there's a new Ask Stephen Lacey. So check that out. We got a ghost podcast coming up.
A ghost podcast?
We're going to do a ghost podcast.
All right.
Very exciting.
All right.
And then there's also...
Are you doing an actual investigation or are you just talking ghosts?
We're soliciting ghost stories from friendos.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You going to tell your ghost story?
Yeah, that's the first episode. And then also on that channel is the new episode of our Picard review show with me and Tim Spulak.
Yeah.
So check that out too. Good stuff. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.